Hi everybody, welcome to my first YouTube video. I'm really excited. I'm going to be doing some videos about different topics that I'm researching right now or that I've researched over the years. It's not really any theme to my channel, I guess, except just life issues, or yeah, I guess that's what I'd call it, is life issues. I am a student midwife, so I'm going to be doing quite a few about why I believe natural childbirth and giving birth at home is a better alternative. Some about why I believe vaccinations aren't particularly a good idea, especially for young children. A few about abortion, creation versus evolution. I'm a Christian, so I have some insights into that. And then, you know, as you watch my videos, you can message me, and if you have something that you would like me to research and do a video on, I'll do my best to do that, because I really enjoy research. So that's kind of why I'm doing this channel, is to just share my research. So for my first video, I'm going to start out with something really easy, because I haven't put together research for any one video right now. So I'm going to do I've never done a video review before. I'm going to try to do a review of the Hunger Games, which, as you know, has been one of the biggest opening weekends of all time, and everyone's talking about it. So I read the books about 3 months ago, absolutely loved them. I finished them in 3 days, and I'm kind of a slow reader, so that's a big deal for me. I went with a couple of my friends last Saturday night with super high expectations, because I normally don't like movie to book transitions. I mean, book to movie, sorry. I just don't like it. So I went kind of worried that I wouldn't like the movie at all, but I loved it. Before I even went, I had done a lot of research on the cast, watched every trailer they had out there. I was, you know, really excited for this. I love Josh Hutcherson as Peeta. He is my dream Peeta. He did a great job with that. And of course, Jennifer Lawrence, she looks exactly how I imagined Katniss would look. Which is amazing, because I read the books before I'd seen any of the trailers. So, Liam Hemsworth, he did a really good job of acting, but I imagined Gale looking a little bit different. So maybe that's just me. I don't know. You guys can tell me if you had imagined him a little bit different. I was a little bit disappointed that they didn't put Madge in, because I really liked her, and she's fairly important in catching fire. So I'm wondering how they're going to even that out. I did think it was a really good idea, though, having Katniss give Prim the Mockingjay pin, just because the whole story wouldn't be the story without Prim in it. It's the reason Katniss does everything, is for her little sister. And so her giving her sister that pin, and then later Prim giving the pin back to Katniss as a token, is just more, it reminds us every time she's in there and we see that pin, it reminds us why she's doing this. It's for Prim. So I really like that. It was a great touch. I also loved the reaping scene. That was the terror in Jennifer Lawrence's voice was it was amazing. She did a great job with that scene. You know, running forward, and you could tell it was her little sister. She meant everything, and she had promised her sister nothing bad would happen, and she was going to make sure nothing bad happened. And so I just loved that scene. Probably one of my favorites out of the whole movie. The train scene, they did a pretty good job. It was a little bit shorter, like there was more conversation going on between Peeta and Katniss. And it kind of, in the book, it explained more why Katniss was reluctant to make friends with Peeta, because, you know, she's afraid she's going to have to kill him. And it didn't really explain that very well in the movie. So I was a little bit disappointed in that. Haymitch, one of my favorite characters. Oh my goodness. I love the scene when Katniss throws the knife and Effie turns around and says, "That is mahogany." One of my all-time favorite sayings. I love the banter they put in between Effie and Haymitch. It totally made the movie. Because it's such a stressful movie, it kind of lightened it up with a little bit of humor. I loved the chariot scene. I was a little bit disappointed they didn't hold hands at first, because that was one of the things, you know, they were talking about. Kind of set the scene for the star-crossed lovers, because of Haymitch telling them, you need to hold hands, you need to hold hands. And so I was a little bit disappointed in that, but the flames were awesome, and their costumes were really great too. Cinna, I love Cinna. He's exactly how I imagined him. And just kind of the fatherly, I'm here for you. He's not in favor of the games at all, but he's doing the best he can. Even though he has to be involved with the games, he's doing the best he can to ensure they're winning, which I just really like that. Let me see. The interview was really great. At first, when I first saw her dress, I was a little bit disappointed because for some reason from the book, I had gotten the idea that it was blue with sparkles. I had kind of gotten an A-line dress in my mind, and the dress she had on just wasn't at all what I had envisioned. But then when she twirled, oh my goodness, that was just amazing. I literally cried. So now I love her dress. And the diamonds on her shoulders were a really great touch. So that dress turned out to be really great. And I love her face when Peeta says that he loves her. I love when she attacks him. Jennifer Lawrence is an amazing actress. I'm just gonna say that again. Let's see. I love the training center. That was just some really great scenes there. With the plants, I love how Foxface is going through the plants and the running around and all that. It gave a really good feel of what the training center was like. I was a little bit disappointed in the scene where Katniss goes into the game makers for her private session. There wasn't that complete shock and even a little bit of fright that I had gotten from the book when she shot the apple out of the pig's mouth. They almost seemed just like, huh? They seemed a little bit passive about their reaction. I had expected more jumping up and, you know, maybe a little bit of, not screaming, but a manly scream. I had imagined that scene going differently. I love when they're in the arena, or about to go in the arena, Cinna's goodbye to her, and when he says, I'd be betting on you if I could. He's totally who I would want in my last minutes before going to the arena. Let's see, the cornucopia scene was one of the ones that I had wanted to see, one of the scenes I wanted to see acted out the most, and it did not disappoint. It was very good. They did a very good job of showing the bloodbath with still making it PG-13. I was wondering how they were going to be able to do that, but they did a really great job with that. And I loved the addition of Katniss and Foxface meeting each other and the terror in their faces. That just was really great. I was disappointed they didn't show Katniss looking for water. I know that they were running out of time, but it almost, the way they portrayed the arena, it kind of made it seem like it was uncomfortable for her, and there were a few situations she was thrown into where she could have died, but it didn't show the exposure and the dehydration and the hunger that they also went through in there. It didn't show the struggle to survive, which kind of disappointed me. I loved how they showed when they went back to the game makers and showed them saying, okay, she's getting close to the edge. Again, foreshadowing. I love all those little things that I can see in there. Foreshadowing for Mockingjay. Sorry, not Mockingjay. Catching Fire. They did a really great job with that. And then Tracker Jacker scene, it was, you know, just like the book. I really liked that. And what was I going to say? Oh, I loved when she was hallucinating, again, it was foreshadowing, I believe, the destruction of District 12 in Mockingjay. And having Caesar there talking about what a tracker-jacker was really brought in the rest of the people who hadn't read the books, because otherwise, what is everybody so scared about a wasp for, you know? So they did a really great job with that. Rue, I just love Rue. They picked the perfect actress for Rue. I totally fell in love with her the minute I saw her. And she did a great job of making the whole audience really fall in love with her and just be rooting for her, you know, but at the same time we know they can't both survive. And so there's that sadness there too. And then when Rue died, I was like, I'm gonna cry, but I made it through that whole scene. And then when Katniss started putting flowers around her head and started singing to her, I lost it. That was just the most beautiful scene of the whole movie. I really wish they had done more in the cave a little bit. They didn't really show much in the cave. The romance was okay, but they didn't show Katniss getting the sleep syrup for Peeta, which I thought was kind of important. And also Clove's death, what happened just so fast, you couldn't really understand what was going on. And it was a really major part in the book. And so I think they could have emphasized that a little bit more. The mutt scene, my cousin was sitting next to me in the theater, and when that first mutt jumped out at Katniss, she literally leapt out of her chair into my lap and stayed there for the rest of the movie. So it was amazing. It was a great, you know, you're holding your breath and gasping. So they did a great job with that. They didn't have Peeta. They were showing Peeta as being Katniss's protector through a lot of it, but that's not the way it was. Peeta wouldn't have gotten past the first bloodbath if it weren't for Katniss. He needs, you know, and they didn't show his leg being all bloodied up. They showed him running ahead of Katniss to the cornucopia. They showed him climbing up and helping Katniss up, which that's not how it happened either. She had to shove him up because he was so injured. So I was a little bit disappointed in that. I loved the gesture of him touching her braid at the end just before they count down with the berries. Just because up until then a kiss has meant nothing more than a show for the audience. And so him touching her braid, that's not for the audience, that's for her and for him because he really does love her. So I loved that touch. Let's see. I missed the scene where his leg is getting amputated and Katniss is screaming for him in just terror because she's so afraid. She's lost all sense of, okay, I'm safe now. And so she thinks something bad is happening to Peeta and she wants to protect him the way she has been for the past 2 weeks. And so I kind of missed that scene, and I'm wondering how they're going to work the other 2 books now that Peeta still has his leg. It seems like a major detail to leave. The rest of the book, or the rest of the movie, great. I wish they had shown Katniss saying, well, you know, this was all for show, because it kind of leaves you wondering, was it for show or did she really love him? Which isn't the way the book leaves you. And of course, I love the ending with President Snow. Up until then, you're not really sure. You know he's a bad guy, but it's like, he doesn't look like a bad guy. But that last scene, there's something about his eyes that changes. He gets this dark look in his eyes, and you can tell he hates Katniss. You can tell he's angry and he's losing control of his country. And it was also great foreshadowing for Mockingjay and Catching Fire. So, yeah, I really loved the movie. And if you haven't seen it yet, you should definitely go see it, even though I kind of ruined it for you. And if you haven't read the books yet, definitely read the books before going to see any more movies. That's a must. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and watch for more videos to come out. All right.